Alright folks, today we're going to open up, unbox our brand new INTEX Sand Filter Pump. It's a 3,000 gallon per hour. It's intended for above ground pools, and sand filtration gives you long lasting filtration, better than the cartridge filters that you may have to change weekly. This model is it's a 16-inch tank, and capacity is about 120 pounds of number 20 silica sand. If the pump motor is a 3/4 horsepower, turnover rate system is 2450 gallons per hour, and the pool size minimum's 5,500 gallons, and then you've got a max of 19,600 gallons. So we fall right in between all that. And we're going with a bigger pump this year for better filtration. We have a few trees in the yard. I also have a skimmer that I'll show you a video on soon. Unbox our lovely 3,000 gallon per hour pump. Some hoses here we'll have to put together soon. Pre-filtration basket, put that on here, show you how that goes. Also here we have the top of the pump head, you can see. We also bought 150 pounds of silica sand. We probably won't use it all, but we have hopefully a plan. Here's the tank. And this clamp. Get that in just a second. This is the base. And the discharge side spits out the water in the pool. Here is the pump motor. So I'm going to set this up over here where I'm going to have it sitting. Kind of center it up a little bit here. We'll figure all that out here in just a little bit. What they call the discharge side, and luckily we've already got that installed over here on the valve. We already have our valve hooked up to it. If I take that off, I'm going to lose a little bit of water. But what it does is you unscrew this just like this, and make sure that the black flat washer is on the pull side, and it goes just like this through here, and then this ring will come up and tighten up against your pull side like so. And then once that's installed, you can put this is your discharge, which has a movable for your jet to move around. You screw this on inside the pool like so, and like I said, this is adjustable up, down, left, right, whichever way you would like. This is for your vent valve. This piece here screws in the top of that, and then you've got this black cap that sits right on top of that, and I guess it just kind of burps and doesn't create a vacuum. Today we're going to take the pre-basket filter off, and we're going to assemble that. The lid. So it just screws off like so. Take it off here. It comes off in two pieces. Set this aside for a few minutes. Don't forget there's a rubber gasket in here. There should be one, and it goes right here on top, keeps the water in. As you can see, this nut right here is going to attach this pre-basket, this pre-filter to the pump. I'll set all this to the side. We'll do now. So this retaining nut should just be hand tight. Now I'd like to put this O-ring back, make sure there's no debris here. Just sits right there on top. That first ring, then this basket goes back in, just like that. And the lid, the two-piece lid, like that. And it screws on, hand tight. You may have to retighten once you get your water going to see if you have a little leak or seepage here or there. and this will be to get all the air out of your system to get complete water flowing, but that'll come later. See the two smaller hoses on the pool that came with the pool setup when we bought it. I believe these are 1.25 inch lines that also go down to this valve right here that came with the pool. And I'll get to the discharge side in just a few seconds. So what I'm doing now is I'm setting it up so I can judge my distance for as far as how far away I need my pump from the pool on the level ground that it needs. And here we have one of these hoses that are going to connect to that valve, and then it's going to connect to the basket right here. And these come with hose clamps. You're able to tighten them with a 5/16 nut driver or a flat tip. Sorry for the shakiness. Just tighten these things up just like this. Okay, there. This right here. Tighten this one up. Make sure they're pretty tight. There we go, guys. Still doing the intake at this time. I moved up the gasket a little bit with a little bit of petroleum jelly, Vaseline, whatever. Put it on there like this. Screws on. Pretty easy. Hand tight. You don't need any tools to do this. You'll tear it up. Make it hand tight. I have to check for leaks later. That'll be here somewhere. And then here, this gasket, make sure you've got your T-looking gasket that came with it, and usually they're all taped in just like so. Put it back in there. Oop, almost got it out here. Like I said, guys, just hand tight. You don't need a whole lot of force on that. Okay. Now what we're going to do is unlock this Phillips head screwdriver. This out of the way. Take this off. Set this off to the side. Here. This is a sand guard, and what you have here is inside here you have a min and a max level, and that's where your sand. You have to be below, above the middle here, but don't go over. And then what this does, it keeps this sand guard keeps the sand off the center, out of the center pipe, and it helps you keep it centered for later when you put your motor head on. So now we're going to start adding sand. Once again, 50-pound bags, aqua quartz, number 20 silica grade sand. One 50-pound bag in, we're going to add a little bit of water. It says to add some water in there to kind of keep everything evened out. And after we do a little bit of adding water, we'll go back and add some more sand. Alright, now we're going to add some more sand. Second bag, guys. Okay, I've added my second bag. I'm adding some more water. Right to the minimum line just yet. We'll be here shortly, though. The third bag. Like I said, I bought 150 pounds just to have enough. Box said I only needed about 120. And adding more water. Third and final bag. I'm going to fill it up between the middle and the full mark. I want to overdo it. I'm going to pour a little bit and check it. Pour a little bit and check it. Alright, check it, see what we got here. What I'm going to do here is rinse that off. And then put my hand in there and kind of level it out a little bit. To make sure we're not overdoing it, and pour to make sure we've got enough. Okay. Run my hand around a little bit. Spreading it out. And remember, try not to get any sand in that center pipe. And I need some more sand. Quick. Check it again. It's so close, I don't want to overdo it. Alright. Once again, make sure you rinse thoroughly. Make sure you get the sand where it doesn't belong. Take that back off. Our 6-way valve on the center, that's why that piece was very crucial to keep it centered up for you. So this sits right on top, like so. Bring it down. Then we put this clamp just like this. Next, we'll hook up this small hose. It goes from the pump head to the inlet. This is where you use your gaskets. Once again, these gaskets are taped in from the factory. Pretty cool, so we don't lose another T gasket. Put it in like so. Once again, hand tight. Don't overdo it. Same gasket. Here. See, just hand tight. So when we turn it on, we're going to do an operational test. Make sure we don't have any leaks. Tight there and there. Next is our outlet right here. So get this other hose that was provided, and I will put it here. Alright, which comes up to the pool. This will be your outlet or your discharge. Okay, hand tight. Tight. So we're pretty much ready for an operational test. First, we're going to do rinse and backwash. Backwash actually first, and then rinse. Backwash, so this is the backwash right here, and this is where I went and bought extra hoses to keep it away from the house. I'll set this right here and hook these extra hoses up right here, and it kind of gets it away from the house and all the structures. Because you have to backwash and then you have to stop, and you also have to rinse for about a minute, but you're also going to be watching the sight glass. So we're going to turn this over to backwash. Always push down, and then it locks into push down to spin, and then put on backwash. The initial startup of once you lay sand in there, and then you'll also over time, the gauge right here, once it gets into the yellow or the red, you'll have to stop filtering and come back to backwash all your stuff back out, and re-rinse and repeat the cycles as needed until your pressure comes down. So your pressure gauge here will keep you informed when you need to backwash. We have sand where we need it on our level. We showed you that earlier. We're going to backwash when the initial setup, and then once we backwash, we're going to rinse everything out to make sure this sight glass is clear. And once we do that, then we can go into a filtering mode and start filtering the pool. All right, now we're going to turn the backwash on. I've got my hose over here. Let it backwash, and what that does, it washes the filter media, the sand, out. We're going to turn this thing on. We're going to backwash. These are the hoses that I got separately. Do not provide these. I wanted to keep this away from my structure, the house and stuff, the deck. So I'm going to sit it out in the yard. Turn the thing on, let it wash. Let it wash for about a minute or so. Level out the sand. The manufacturer's suggestions in the book and instructions, we have now backwashed. So we turn the pump off now, and it also now it says to rinse. So we're going to push down to rinse. Pretty simple operation here. We're going to turn it on, let it run for about a minute until this sight glass is clear. As you can see, it's already starting to clear up. pretty cleared up. This one didn't take very long to clear, so we're going to go ahead and turn it off. Now, like I said before, these are hoses that I bought separately to keep it away from the house. They do not provide these with the pump, but it's a good suggestion to do so. Turn it to close, get all the rinse out of there, and cap it back off. Next will be turn on the filter. Here, this is the discharge or the outlet, however you want to say it. Screw it on hand tight, it's pretty simple. And let's see what we got. Now we're going to filter mode. We should have some discharge into the pool and some suction. Push down, going to go across to filter. Pretty simple. I'll turn it on. There we go. As you can see, we now have outlet. Outlet. That concludes our filter sand pump setup. What we're going to show you next is we have a skimmer that will go on to one of the suction sides to filter out all the stuff that's in the surface and around. But for now, this is the way